What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Hungry Road. So our last dining adventure in Europe around February is going to be Hugo's. Now Hugo's is a 1-star Michelin Star restaurant on the 14th floor of the InterContinental Berlin hotel. Now during my stay in Berlin for a couple of the weeks, I did actually stay at the InterContinental, and I was taunted with Hugo's. Every time you get on the elevator, it's got its own little button right there. It says Hugo's. Go to the 14th floor, check it out. But that's also where they do their private dining. So like one side of the restaurant is like Hugo's, the other side is like private dining, like for Hugo's. I'm not sure what it costs or whatever, but they also do like private cooking classes from like 4 to 6 people. Again, I don't know the price point, but given it's a Michelin Star restaurant and it's in Europe and it's downtown Berlin, might be a pretty penny. But you get gorgeous views from up there. Unfortunately, when I was dining there, it was like rainy and stuff. It's fine. It's my last day getting ready to leave, but it was a good time. So in this video, we're gonna go through I believe it was an 8-course tasting menu that I experienced there. Did not do the wine pairing, just had like a little bit of, just had a bottle of wine this time. I told you guys in the last one I wasn't doing wine pairings anymore. But yeah, let's get started. And before we actually get started, I want to give a big shout out to Katerina. She was the host at the Host Inn who graciously seated me and told me a little bit about the restaurant. Also to Perna and Shaba, I hope I said it right, P-U-R-N-A and S-H-A-B-A. They were the servers who took care of me throughout the courses, throughout the entirety of the meal. So I did mention the private cooking classes. They're actually taught by the executive chef, Chef Eberhard Lange. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's gonna be at the bottom of the screen. It's taught by him, and he's been with Hugo since 1998. So what is that, like 20? Recorded on 30 years? Yeah. Well, it's 27 now, I guess. 1998, 2025. Yeah, 27 years, and he has been with them since 1998, but he never become a head chef until July of 2015, and has successfully held the Michelin Star that Hugo's has had for 26 years. So congratulations on keeping that streak going. Let's keep it going. Wow, that looks so generic. So yes, like in most restaurants in Europe, you get bottled water or you get sparkling water. It's still or sparkling. It's still or bubbles is what they say. I was actually allowed to bring my own water in. Usually you have to pay for water at these establishments. Some have tap water they can give you. I just put my own water bottle in, no big deal. They let me do it, let me pour my own water, fine, not a problem at all, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, before I even started looking at the menu, 3 chef's greetings came out from the kitchen, so we'll get to those in a second. But I did order a bottle of wine, and one thing I did experience was the sommelier, I believe it was Perna, he actually tasted my wine before I tasted it. So like, it was like a sip, don't get me wrong. He tasted it, then like switched it and like spit it out or whatever like you're supposed to do. Then he was tasting for like skunkiness and making sure the bottle is actually good, because sometimes these bottles sit there very long and they go bad. Well, it's very rare, I think. But yeah, I had never seen that before. It was very strange to me. So technically, he stole some of my wine before he gave me my own wine, which is crazy. But hey, it's how they do things there. All right, let's get into the actual food. So the first greeting was like well, the greetings all come out at once. So there's 3 separate plates. So the first one, we're gonna go to the banana chip looking thingy. It had a great balance of textures. It was smooth and gritty, and at the same time, balanced flavors for sure. I did like how the chip broke up the mushy texture, but good start to the dinner. The second greeting was like a duck liver pate. It kind of looks like a pate, like a little round ball or whatever. It was outstanding. It definitely tasted like liver, but it was so subtle and done so well. The textures were excellent. The third greeting here was a yellow-tail kingfish tartare on a nori chip with some kind of concoction going on here. There was a bit of a language barrier, accent barrier that I had to overcome when I was taking my voice memos. I'm gonna do a little better in the future of trying to capture everything that they're telling me while they're telling it to me, because this review is now 3 months later since I've actually eaten there. But yes, this little like greeting was a bit on the saltier side, but it was so freaking smooth. But all three greetings had a similar presentation with being some sort of texture on a hardened chip, which I didn't understand, but great, fabulous way to start the meal. And if you haven't seen enough sourdough bread making on your timeline, your social media timeline, we're not done with it here. So here, they also had a sourdough bread. It's served with an herb butter and a salted butter, but the bread was warm, toasted, fresh, and flavorful. The end piece was a little too powerful for me, like this too bready, I guess, flavor, but the salted butter did work very well with the toast, the neutral flavors, and nothing crazy. The herb butter was definitely better, but didn't get any saltier and provided more of a flavor profile than the salted butter did. So the Amuse Bouche this evening, which I think means one bite in French. You can correct me down below if I'm wrong. I can just Google it. Don't worry about it. But yes, this was a dim sum filled with prawns, and it came with a salted mushroom Worcestershire sauce. Dim sum was on another level. Didn't look like a normal piece of dumpling or whatever, but tasted like maybe beef, but it was prawns. So these Michelin Star restaurants really play with your palate, because your eyes make you think you're eating one thing, then your nose may make you think you're eating something else, then the texture and the flavors can take you over here. That's the beauty of these kind of restaurants. It's really an experience and like a roller coaster ride of flavor emotions, if you can say something like that. But yes, the dim sum, the flavors were light, delicate, and well balanced. Alright, so our first course is already starting off strange, but it is a veal tongue tartare, potato, creme fraiche, chives, and topped with an imperial caviar. The dish was a bit hard to eat as it kind of like fell apart when trying to like cut into it. You see it's all beautiful and like stacked up and stuff, but like once you cut into it, everything falls over or whatever, and you kind of want to eat it all at once. It's like a work of art. You don't want to disturb it. But yes, the flavors are great. Just a little all over the place. Before I was tasting all kinds of things. It's like each of the ingredients were like fighting for your attention all at the same time. Like trading places with this and this and this. It was good, just interesting. Our second course is from the Scottish company Loch Durant, D-U-A-R-T, which grow their salmon in crystal clear waters up to 3 months longer than like traditional salmon is grown, and they're fed an all natural diet, so it gives them like super omega-3s and super good flavor and super colors and super freshness. But this salmon is then smoked and salted, and on top of this beautiful cut of salmon is a kohlrabi chip encompassing several other complicated ingredients I couldn't quite understand purin, but there's a lot of stuff going on in here. But some of these ingredients are buckwheat, finger limes, and more salmon roe. This is an absolutely gorgeous looking dish, really truly beautiful dish. And the salmon was smoked amazingly. It tasted leaps and bounds above any other smoked salmon I've ever had. Usually I get smoked salmon at like a buffet where it's like little like stripped and you put it over top of a bagel with some cream cheese and lox or whatever, but this was just like, almost like a salmon fillet smoke. It was done so well. The sweet melon or whatever it was added some excellent subtle balance to bring some of that salt out, away, disturb the salt, like salt, sweet, and balanced. That's what I'm trying to say here. Third course here is the suckling pig. It is presented in two separate dishes. You have like a big one over here and like a small one back there. They're like two kinds of pork, I think. There's yellow beets in here somewhere. Oyster leaf. The second plate was the ice cream. Anyway, so yes, there's yellow beets in here somewhere and oyster leaf sorbet. Like it already sounds off the rails. And chicory. The presentations were stunning. The bigger plate with the pork was fine. It was a really light flavor and pulled apart easily. However, the bitter fruit that was served with it was too strong. You know, it kind of like hindered the savory and the saltiness of the pork, and it took over. You know, the yellow beet. I think that's that bitter fruit was, or bitter vegetable. And just like at another restaurant I went to, probably in the last Michelin Star video, I just didn't understand why there was ice cream being served with it. Like, I don't have any Michelin stars. I don't even have a restaurant. But like, why, if you want like a fruit or a sweetness to go with like a salty, there's so many more options besides ice cream. Why ice cream? You know, if you're going for like the applesauce and pork chop kind of thing, just do like a nice crazy applesauce. You don't get like an oyster leaf sorbet. What even is? Anyway, I'm not ranting, but hey, it's fine. I just didn't understand what the goal of the whole dish was here, but let's move on. This fourth course was a fennel-centered course. Never had fennel be featured as like the main thing here, but it's baked in a sea salt dough with rye, orange, smoked cottage cheese, orange, and sunflower seeds. Another visually stunning dish. I don't think I've ever had fennel as the main course, but it was good. It worked well. The flavors were all blended together. Again, I didn't understand what the chef was trying to do here, but it was good. This dish was definitely better than the third course. We are moving right along here. So our fifth course now is going to be a red prawn in a red Thai curry foam with a peanut crust, coconut flan, and coconut chutney somewhere in there. This was another stunningly beautiful dish. That red prawn is so bright, but it was absolutely delicious. The Thai curry was mild and the prawn was cooked a lot less than I would expect it to be, but I trust the chef. I'm using my shrimp having like a little bit of a crunch, like a snap to the skin, and like, you kind of chew it. It has a consistency all the way through. This is a lot softer than that, but that's fine. The flavors worked well and they complemented each other. This is my favorite dish so far of the evening, but so far so good. I'm loving everything I'm having here. Pernod is topping my wine glass off, and yeah, everything is doing well. Yeah, no complaints so far. Let's move on. Our sixth course is a truffle focused course, but this one featured a Perigold truffle, which is laid, well, a series of sliced Perigold truffles laid on top of a Fontana mountain cheese ravioli filled with chestnuts and pistachios. Surrounding all this was a Maroni cream foam used to make the truffle foam. So Maroni cream used to make the truffle foam. The truffle was very pungent, and there are 5 thick slices there. They were kind of like toasted. They weren't like, it was very interesting because like when you smell truffle, you smell like one thing. When you eat it, it tastes just a bit different. So it's not like the truffle oil or truffle parmesan fries or truffle wings, anything like that. This is a very different flavor of truffle. It does resemble those oils or whatever. But yes, the ravioli busted open, it had a mild flavor. The more I ate the truffles, they kind of like changed texture. So like the second bite, I didn't get as much crunch as I did the first bite. Very strange mutation these things were doing here, but yeah, they didn't taste or smell as strong as I thought they would, which is good. This is a very good dish. Just still a bit confused. Who doesn't love truffle on top of their anything? I just don't think this dish needed as many on top. Maybe like 1 or 2, but again, still a good dish. Our main course of the evening, which is course number 7, but if you include the Amuse Bouche, that'd be 8. Then add the 3 chef's things, that's like 11. Anyway, yeah, people complain about I would never go and pay that much money for food and leave hungry. You don't. You really don't. I'm a big guy, 5'9", 260 pounds, or 255 pounds. I never leave these places craving anything else. I usually have to stuff myself to the brink to eat everything they send out here because they do it so well. Anyway, our 7th course is an A5 Kagoshimi, is that right? Kagoshimi Wagyu beef fillet. There were also some sweet potatoes, shiitake mushrooms, a tartare somewhere, much more in this dish. But the Wagyu was cooked perfectly and seasoned well. On top of the Wagyu were actually like fermented black pepper like crusts or whatever. Really sharp flavor there, but it went really well with the filet. The sweet potatoes are really cool. They were like arranged like a little bit of brick, like an orange square rectangular brick, and they were like sliced so thin. Why? I don't know. It just looked really good, but it come out anyway. But yes, and they were sweet, soft, succulent, and the tartare. Let me tell you about this tartare. It was the best tartare I've ever had. It was so soft, creamy, and like bursting with flavor. I mean, it was so good. It makes me think that it was also an A5 Wagyu tartare. Why someone would want to take tartare or A5 Wagyu and make it a tartare, not just cook it and give it a good crust and serve it as a steak. But this is a good choice. You would never know tartare could be this good unless you experienced it like this. But yep, best tartare I've ever had, and this is a phenomenal dish. So now we're getting to the sweet side. So we have the pre-dessert, which is kind of like a an entree to try to bring your palate from the savory over to the sweet side. Because you don't want to do savory then boom sweet, like it can be a little bit clashy or whatever. But the pre-dessert was an elderberry sorbet with an elderberry ragu, vanilla foam, and caramelized pecans. This is amazing. Everything just worked like a Super Bowl caliber team in your mouth. Hear me out. It was sweet. It was balanced. You had the crunchy texture from the pecans. You had like just the elderberry bitterness and the sweetness. Like, it was just such a good dessert. I was blown away. All right, the 8th course, probably more closer to like the 13th course, was like a pumpkin smorgasbord. So when Pernin was trying to explain this dish, I didn't quite pick up on everything because the accent and the language barrier, but I'll do my best to try to describe this dish. So on the bottom was a nougat financier, which is like a French almond cake as the base. Then above that, it starts getting crazy. There's like pumpkin sorbet, then like caramelized pumpkin and pear pumpkin seeds and crunchy raw pumpkin. Then like it was just a beautifully designed dessert. It kind of stacks up, it's like a little fan on top, and the pumpkin seeds are sprinkled all over the place. It was a great dish, fresh, fruity, not terribly over the top sweet. I like that. Like it, I felt like I was eating something that was really healthy for me, and I like that a lot. Having some toasted parts of the dish definitely broke up the textures and gave it some umami flavors that didn't make it too sweet. And the sorbets kept it balanced and light and fresh and cold. Good stuff, man. All right, the final thing is the Petite Four. It's just kind of like a compliment at the end of the meal. It's usually 4 separate, very small, little bite-sized things you can take part in. Just like the chef's greetings in the beginning, this is kind of like the ending. So we have 4 parts of the final course. Dark chocolate truffle was super rich, super good, nice and flaky, good crunch when you bite into it, delightful, sweet, and robust. There was like a granola bar, like a little thin granola bar. It was light, it was chewy. There was some Tasmanian cream pepper, Tasmanian pepper cream thing. That was my favorite. It was just so different. I loved it. It just kind of melted. Then there was like a tart that was separate, and a little grainy flavor to it. I mean, this was just great. It was so hard to describe these different aspects of the Petite Fours, but again, when you have a chef like this guy, he cooks to this level, he's not going to put anything out of the kitchen that's bad. Like, it's just going to be all good. Some of it might be a little confusing or a little above me. Like, I might not understand what's going on, but it's going to be good. But this, so the 8-course menu was 240 euros, about 271 US dollars. It is a bit pricey, but this does include taxes and the tip. If this was in the United States, you had to add another 6.375% for taxes, then another 20% for the tip. This is why I always harp on, like, I'd rather go to Michelin Star restaurants in Europe or Australia or outside the US, because everything is right there. The cards are presented to you. Here's what's going to cost to eat here. The US, here's what's going to cost to eat here, but add this, then add this. Like, come on, I don't like doing all that. And it winds up being more expensive than in Europe. Plus, I just have the best experiences there, man. So I don't think I've been to a Michelin Star restaurant in the United States. They've all been in Europe. I don't think Australia has any Michelin Star restaurants just yet. They should be getting there pretty soon though. But yeah, man, I enjoyed my time here at Hugo. I'm very happy I finally got the chance to check it out. I think it was like a Thursday or so. It was pretty empty up there, but not a big deal. I still felt very special, like I was the only one in the restaurant, even though I was one of like 6 in the restaurant. It was peaceful. The staff were amazing. The chef did come out, but spoke to other people and didn't speak to me. I'm not playing this card, but I was the only one of these in the restaurant. Why didn't you come talk to me? Maybe because I had the camera out? I don't know. I'm not claiming anything. It was just odd. Would have loved to have shaken his hand or got him on camera saying something or taking a picture with him, you know? But it's all good. I'm not claiming anything. I still loved it. I had a great time there, and I wish them much success. But I believe that includes my series of Michelin Star level restaurants in Europe that took place in February of 2025. The next kind of video like this I'm making will be more on the James Andrews style, where I'll have a camera pointed at me in the restaurant. It won't be just me sitting and talking about my experience. You'll be able to see my reactions firsthand, so I'm excited to try that out. But yeah, man, thanks for watching and listening. If your first time seeing my face, please go ahead and smash the subscribe button and like the video while you're at it. We are marching toward 10,000 subscribers. We got a really big, awesome giveaway planned. Once we hit that number, we are taking our sweet time, but it is what it is. I'm still enjoying myself with this content and creating it for you guys and for myself, because I sit in these hotel rooms and have not much else to do. So this gives me something to do, gives me something to focus on. And yeah, man, remember, there's never an empty tank or empty stomach on this road. Remember to live hungry, guys. Stay safe. Thank you.